Yo, what's going on guys? This is the build that I'll be using for today's video, and I'll go over it as the video goes on. So starting off the passives, which you can't change. Ironclad, huge status effects, 100% faster. And then your second one is bipedal stance, so all it is just pressing the crouch button will instead raise you up onto two legs into a bipedal stance. So you need that to use your front kick. When you use your front kick, it just instantly puts you in bipedal stance anyway. So yeah, moving on to the actual choice that you make is your sense. For my sense, I use the dazed and impacts. Your area of effect attacks now apply dazed for 3 seconds, while dazed have reduced movement speed by 5% and can't use abilities, so that's onto your enemies. Targets can only be dazed every 20 seconds, which isn't that long, so it's actually really good. And moving on, and I will go over every single option and what I think of them. So your different option is family chorus, increase stamina recovery when not grouped. And then while grouped, you and each hadrosaur, so Campto, Lambio and Bars, within 50 meters gain 10% stamina recovery and stacks up to 4 times, which it's not a bad option. I just prefer dazed and impacts because of when apexes try to tail raid you. For example, the Rex when he bone snaps you. Your other choice is musician, 20% faster vocal ability cooldowns, which it's not bad, but I just feel like it's the most lacking out of all of them. I feel like 20% just isn't enough to make that much of a difference, you know. But then you've got shockwave, which area of effect attacks have now 25% increased range. Area of effect attacks deal 50% reduced damage to your group members, which it's also okay, but once again, dazed, I just think it's better. Not only that, I mean, 25% isn't that much more when it comes to AoE, and you know, 50% reduced damage to group members. Just if you're not using the smash, then it usually doesn't. It's not really effective unless you're using smash. But yeah. For your front one, you have the kick, it's the only option. A kick that causes low damage and knockback will put you in bipedal stance when used. I know it says low damage, but it really does more like medium damage. It's actually really good. For my metabolism, I use herbivore, able to eat berries and fruit, moderate food drain. Other option is forager, which I'm able to eat flowers, nuts, roots and fruit, but it has faster food drain. And food drain is important because the more food and water you have, the faster you heal. And I'm not sure if it goes the same for stamina, but it might do, so yeah. So I did miss out some of the footage by accident. I missed out like a minute of PvP, but they brought the Suko switch from the Suko to a Picno and I put them low already. But yeah, moving on, for my hide, I use Die Hard. Gain up to 4 times increased stamina recovery and 50% faster attack cooldowns, while you're below 35% health, scaling with the amount of health missing, which is really good because one of the tail attacks I use uses stamina, and yeah, so it's very important. And also you can just, your survivability goes up so much more. So yeah, it's just, you can escape a lot of the apexes using that, which makes it very nice. Your other option is it's the one that makes you do 25% increased damage when you're in the bipedal stance. It's called Fixed Skin. Gain 25% increased knockback resistance while you're in bipedal stance, which I think knockback resistance is kind of useless. But you gain 25% increased attack damage. So for that, that's like, it can be really good if you use sweep and just knockback tail, because you can, in both of those, you can be bipedal and use both of those tail attacks. But yeah, I just like the increase that I have, the increased stamina, because it's, yeah, when you're fighting apexes, it can make all the difference. And it's just like your attacks come off of cooldown a lot faster, so you can combo them a lot more. So yeah, and that's kind of because, like, you know, when you're out of stamina on a bars, you're kind of out. The base stamina curve isn't that good. But anyway, going for the leg slot, I use braced legs. Increases your ignores uphill movement and an increase in 10% when going downhill, and reduces falling damage by 10%, which is also really good. I just like it for running away. Your other option is the dash. Quickly dash forward, must be sprint to use, cannot be interrupted by knockback. The thing is, most of the time I'm not trying to run away. I just want to make enough distance, but I still want to stay in the fight. I'd much rather just die, honestly, as a bars, than, you know, run away and have to sit there for like 20 minutes and heal up, and the fight just might not be there. That's the problem with the bars, you know, really any apex. You go around looking for a fight, and because you're an apex, no one wants to fight you, you know. You kind of see in the video, it's like anytime I'm fighting, I'm way outnumbered, and I have to kind of provoke people to fight me, or they just won't. So yeah. But yeah, you could use a dash. I prefer to use braced legs. But yeah. Moving on to the next one. So for my two tail attacks, I use tail slam, which is an AoE attack. So that triggers my days and impacts sense. A tail attack that slams the ground and deals medium damage, reaches a small area of effect, puts you back to quadrupedal stance, and it also uses stamina. Which tail slam actually does really good damage. It doesn't do as much as the smash, but it still does really good damage. And the thing about smash that I don't like is that, yeah, it's got a great AoE, it does great damage, but it's very predictable, you know? You make a massive noise and, you know, your tail comes up in the air. So, and it just takes so much stamina. That's the problem. It just takes too much stamina. So for me, it's just not valuable. You just end up running out of stamina and just getting tail ridden by a Rex the whole time. So yeah. And earlier in the video, you seen my friend. He was using that, and you know, I had to come in and take the pressure off him just so he could survive. And he ended up getting killed anyway. But yeah. Moving on to your other options is the normal tail attack, an attack that causes light damage and knockback, which is it's decent, but here's the problem. All it does is knockback. It does like no damage, so it's just not good enough. So what I use is tail slam and sweep. Low reaching tail attack that deals medium damage and no knockback. So the damage is okay, but the thing that I like about tail slam and sweep, they have two different cooldowns. So first I tail slam someone, and then I daze them, and then I use the sweep. And the tail slam has a 2-second cooldown, and the sweep has a 4. So I usually combo it with tail slam, sweep, and then by the time I've done that, the tail slam's already came back, so I've gotten them 3 hits while they've been dazed. So yeah, that's why I really like that. So for my call, I use combat calls, which you can use all 3 of the combat calls, unlike the Metri. Rallying call, which a call that increases all group members' armor by 50% within 50 meters, really good. Only problem is it only lasts a minute, which is fine. But yeah. The other one, Deafening Bellow, a call that applies a death status to all dinosaurs within 50 meters. While deaf, you cannot receive any buff or debuff from any vocal abilities. Which it kind of, if you play with like a Lambio, it works against you, or if you're playing with your teammate, it works against you. You know, that like, or maybe he gives you armor, for example, rallying call, stuff like that. I just feel like it's not that good. It can be good, really good if you're solo, not so good when you're not, when you're in a group setting, you know, or you at least have to be careful where you pop it. The other one is Resilient Cry. I called it increases bleed, venom, bleed and venom healing rates by 50% within 50 meters for 2 minutes for you and all nearby group members, which is really good. Especially when somebody puts on a lot of bleed or poison on you, for example fighting megs or hatchet bite, or example shark bite on the support. The other option is survival calls. So the thing is, survival calls are really useless. Like the PV gorge. I call it the increases food and water intakes by 50% within 50 meters for 90 seconds for you and all nearby group members, which is like, when are you struggling for food and water as a herbivore? Like, come on. Scent tracker passively tracks the distance to the nearest berry bush within 200 meters. It's kind of really easy to find berry bushes, especially if you've been playing for a decent amount of time, and it's just not worth the trade-off for 50% armor and 150% bleeding venom healing for 2 minutes. Yeah. And the last one they have for it is Heart Song. Boost knockback resistance by 50% for 2 minutes for you and all nearby group members. Not that good unless somebody's trying to knock you off a cliff, so just move out the way of the cliff. But yeah, that in my subspecies of the plus 10 stam recovery, because that's what I feel like the boss struggles with, is stam. So try and get as much stam as I can. The other option is plus 10 health recovery, which is it's alright, you know, because the boss healing is pretty bad, but to be honest, you need to survive the fight first for that to be any use. So yeah. And the last subspecies is the plus 10 venom and bleed heal, which it's alright. I just prefer the plus 10 stamina. I think that's the best one that you can possibly run. Anyway, you can see that I'm fighting these guys, and these two Rexes. I already killed the Arrow. Here's the thing. If I don't want to stay in this fight, guess what? I can run away from these guys. These guys can't catch up to me. But you know, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to fight to the death, especially as a boss. Anyone who's played on Apex on official servers kind of realizes the only fights you get are going to be unfair fights. And especially as a boss, nothing wants to fight you, so I'm not about to spend another 30 minutes to an hour waiting for someone to fight me. But anyway, let's get to the fight. So my main goal here is to daze them and combo them with my slam and sweep, and then slam again, and then occasionally hit them with my front limb, the kick. And because I have brace legs right here, this is very good for me because we're going uphill, and unless they're using shatter, they're not going to gain anything unless they're in the crouch position. For that, you have to be out of combat to use. And you can see I was trying to play for my rallying call, and I got a little bit overconfident here. I seen that I put these guys decently low, and he bone snaps me here, and this is where I really messed up, and he ends up bone snapping me again, and I just end up dying. I should have waited for my call to come back. And honestly, it kind of looked like the guy kind of missed. But anyway, me and my friend were at SLL was 2 bars in slot limit, obviously. And the whole time we're just trying to fight everyone. No one wants to fight us. They're all trying to fight each other, and we're like, all right, let's fight everyone. I mean, no one wants to fight us. You know, nobody wants to fight the bars because of how strong it is. It's, in my opinion, it's got to be the strongest dinosaur in the game. Obviously, I mean, the Arno can just, you know, it's a tank, but you know, it's just not the same. But yeah, I think the Bars is like the strongest dino in the game, and it's got good survivability. You won't really see that survivability in this video because I just decided to take all the fights I can. But yeah. No, I really enjoyed playing the bars, but the only problem that I found with it was traveling around the map is a pain. So questing on it, same thing. Luckily, I didn't have to request because I just hit discover areas. So yeah. But another thing was just like you can't really punish it. Like, for you to kill someone, they have to make the mistake. They have to, get overconfident, and you don't just do a crazy amount of damage. It's more like you're really tanky, and they have to take a lot of punishment to punish you. And you're not like a Rex, like one bite is like half of their health. It's more like a quarter. So if they really don't want to die, then they'll just walk away, and you can't do anything about it because you're too slow. And you just don't have a bone snap or anything, which makes sense. Obviously, you're a barsboldia. You're supposed to be just like the Anno, a perfect defense dino, which makes perfect sense. I think the barsboldia is very balanced, but I really do enjoy playing the barsboldia. But other than that, yeah. And Miriguaya comes over, same thing. These guys still won't fight us, so we start fighting herbs, fighting everything we can, just to give these guys some confidence, to fight us. And we were expecting all these guys to team up at some point. So that was the main point. Just annoy everyone, get them to finally fight us, because if someone doesn't want to fight you, then guess what? They're just gonna walk away. So the best thing to do is just annoy everyone and get them to fight. And I know this guy's using tail barrage, so every single time I see he uses it, I just precise turn out of the way and then punish him with a kick, with a front limb kick. And then obviously if I can, I'll try and help him with the tail attacks when he's behind me. But it can be kind of hard to time sometimes. But yeah, and you can see these guys are getting a little bit more confident. And yeah, also the Megs were trying to help us at first, but at some point I go up to them and I just tail smash them to get their aggro as well. Just get everyone to fight us, because really these guys were doing nothing to us. I mean, we were perfectly fine. So yeah, it just kind of goes to show how tanky the bars is. It's really good, really strong. But the only thing is, do not expect someone to give you a fair fight on the bars. You're way too strong for a fair fight. You will not get it, especially on the official. Maybe on a community server you will, but good luck having a fair fight on officials. It's just every single fight that I was in, way outnumbered, way outslotted, and it still put up really good fights, which goes to show how good the bars is. So yeah, I think the bars TOC was really good. Definitely one of the better ones. And honestly, if you're just a passive player that wants to run around the world, not really run around, but walk around and just not get attacked, it's definitely one of the dinos to use. Because I was really struggling to get fights. Everyone wanted to be friendly with me. It's because I'm a bars, and it's like, it was hard getting into fights, especially fair ones. I kind of had to just annoy everyone and let them team up on me for them to even fight me. And you can see these guys literally haven't touched us, and I could hear something. I could hear like louder footsteps, so I kind of started heading that way. And I found out it was a Rex, and I was like, alright, well, these guys aren't really putting up a fight, what else to do than start a fight with a Rex, get these guys to actually maybe, do something, get even more confidence. But yeah, 2 barsboldias is really good. And couldn't really this wasn't really to we're not fully trying to kill the Rex, we're just trying to put on damage, get him to try and fight us. and showed out all this small stuff what we're doing. Because we know like the barsboldia isn't aggressive dino. A good player will really punish you for being aggressive. So yeah. But this Rex was really scared. He probably thought that we were just a massive group that we were gonna attack him. But it was really just me and my friend trying to get him to help these guys out. So yeah. And he does turn around, helps these guys out, which honestly, without him, these guys would have never killed us. But yeah. It's also, I really like the knockback on the kick. I feel like it just disrupts what they're doing. And you can see another pic now shows up. These guys are way overpacked. They've been overpacked. You see there's a couple values, megs, Bicknose, Rex, everything. And when you're playing the bars, this is what you should expect. Anyway, you can see I'm comboing this guy up, but he's just aping the whole time and just going through it. Which we end up putting them low, but there's so much things, and you know, now they're finally getting confident. You know, they're like probably 20 slots. You know, finally want to fight. So yeah. And you know, they brought some raptors. These raptors are really annoying because there's not much you can do to get them off. And I was trying to get my friend to come over to me and kick the raptor off. Because it does knockback, so it just instantly takes them off. Not only that, it does good damage. It's also really good to wait the 5-10 seconds, and then raptors don't have that 200% armor increase when they're latched onto you. So you know, they take a lot of damage when you hit them. But yeah. And another thing was, I don't want to fight near water with my tail slam, because it's just a very weird thing where the radius doesn't actually hit with any type of AoE because of the water. So yeah. And these megs really did nothing. Trying to face tank a bar is never a good idea unless you're like a Apex. And you can see he actually kicked them off that time. And it's important to use your calls, but just keep in mind all the calls use stamina. At this point I kinda knew I was dead, but I wanted to try and get this raptor into the water and kill him. But yeah, I'll just get killed. Anyway, here I was sitting AFK, well I wasn't sitting AFK, I was sitting on my phone letting my friend do quests. I was just bored out of my mind, travelling the map on this thing, and this Rex gets the jump on me, but you can see how that stun saves me, and really just gives me time to hit this guy, and he fully bone breaks me, which is actually really good, because then I can't be bone broken for nearly a whole minute, 50 seconds of no bone break, which is really good. That makes that he doesn't have that 20% increased damage from his sense. And my friend was 1v1 in a Tyranno Titan, and he was getting whooped because he ran out of stamina. So make sure you do not run out of stamina when you are playing the bars, because a lot of your attacks use stamina, for example smash or tail slam, so it's very important. And you can see they have another Rex, so it's 2 Rexes in a Tyranno Titan versus 2 barsboldias. And realistically, honestly, we could win this. We could win this. This is a winnable fight in my opinion. I let this guy try and bone snap me because it doesn't do as much damage as a bite would. And also, he thought that he'd be able to bone snap me, but I was immune to bone snap because of his friend. And I put a lot of damage onto this guy. So I've already fought one of the Rexes. This is the second one that I'm fighting. And I was thinking about knocking him off of this cliff, but the problem was he wasn't too close to it. And I also didn't want to get over aggressive, because that's when you get really punished, and he also uses voice. So I knew he did some extra damage, and I just didn't really want to do that. And if you're wondering, yeah, my friend did lose a 1v1 to a Tyranno Titan, which is a little bit crazy. to say the least. You should always be wanting that. Yeah. But my friend was just getting used to using the bars, so definitely could have won a lot more fights. And this guy got the jump on me, so well played. And if it was just the 2 Rexes, I could have got away easily, because of Die Hard. But the thing is, the Tyranids coming. And matter of fact, my friend didn't even do that much damage to this Tyranids, because you'll see that I hit him quite a few amount of times, and you know, he just eats it all and puts bleed on me, which yeah. Maybe if not for that bleed, I honestly think I could have got away. But yeah, you know, I have to rest. I'll start moving at least, and if I start moving, the Rexes get me. If I don't, I'll bleed out. No options here. This is definitely one of the fights I couldn't gotten out of. But to be fair, a lot of the other deaths definitely could have been avoided.